That's a problem that needs to be cracked down upon.
Crime.
Anybody who uses a computer system to go and jump the line and buying tickets when we're all buying tickets, so they go and it's called they're called bots. Anybody who uses bots, that ought to be
Explain
shut
that
down.
to me. So how does that
it's
work?
This idea, normally they'll usually at a venue will have a limit on the number of tickets you can buy.
Right.
What'll happen is somebody will use a computer program and they'll just keep logging in and they'll keep buying tickets and maybe they'll use multiple credit cards.
So they corner the market.
Yeah, and they'll corner the market. That's a problem, and there are a lot of laws that exist to deal with that.
Right.
So all of those things we believe are you can legislate and sort of deal with these unsavory, unethical, illegal practices. But beyond that, this idea of having a secondary marketplace, you can't force me to either buy or sell on your market. Like the Yankees should not be able to force me to go on. I'm a Yankee fan.
Right.
Yes, I know.
Can I just interrupt for a second? I think a very typical example. This is before you came to us with Fan Freedom. I didn't even know it existed. Yeah. But I am a person. I'll give you my entire story about why I sell my tickets, folks. This is the way it goes. I am on a waiting list for 3.5 years to get season tickets to the Boston Red Sox. Why? Because I can't get tickets at a price that I could afford normally.
Piecemeal.
And until I get down there where I can go to more games, and I took all you guys to games down there.
Thank you again.
What do I do with the ones I don't use? I sell them.
Of course.
And if I can make a profit and cover my cost for the tickets, which I didn't do this year.
Yeah.
I did it last year. I didn't do this year. Red Sox, could you please win? That makes a difference if you win. But that's the example we're talking about here. And what it is really the little guy. This is the little guy.
Yes.
And
this is protecting the little guy.
When you're out there and you're doing your Fan Freedom stuff, how is this any different than buying a ball cap and selling it on eBay?
Well, see, and that's exactly it. This is where it comes down to. There's this discussion as to whether or not a ticket is a good or a license.
Okay.
And so there's this whole legal fiction that's sprung up, and I
absolutely
really,
as clear as day. It's not a license.
And I got in. There's the Florida representative who was putting up. I so wanted to get up in this guy's grill afterwards because he was just out there lying. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Right.
And my buddy at Fan Freedom, John Potter, who runs Fan Freedom, said, no, just don't deal with it. Because he said this thing. He said that tickets have no intrinsic value beyond the concert or event you go to.
Right.
And that is true in one sense. But if you go on eBay right now, there are literally 10,000 ticket stubs to concerts that folks went to in the past that they are selling
Souvenirs.
on eBay. Souvenirs.
Right.
And so this idea that a ticket is not a good, that it can't be given to somebody else or transferred to somebody else it's just idiotic. It is essentially, there was 70 years ago, there may have been, actually, the first time it was, I think the representative said 1845 or 1865, the first laws that said that a ticket is a license and not a good came out.
And it was about a Rolling Stones concert?
Yeah, it was. That's exactly right. Mick Jagger.
First tour.
But,
really?
and a lot of it had to do with the right of a venue owner to keep out, frankly, black people. Mm-hmm. This idea that they could just kick somebody out because they didn't know who was going to be sitting in the seat. So
now I'm listening.
Yeah, so,
no, I'm kidding.
But so, like a lot of these protectionist laws were built out of sort of Jim Crow, laws that have their basis in racism, and so or anti-counterfeiting, and so now we don't abide by that. We don't abide by laws that separate the races, and we don't abide by when we have these great anti-counterfeiting measures. So the idea of treating a ticket as a license and not a good is really very antiquated, and it needs to catch up with the rest of it.
And that's why what's the only people you represent that will ever be on this show. That's terrific.
Actually, no, that's not true because I did that Disney Dark Side.
Oh, you did that Disney Dark Side. Yeah, you do. Even with your politics, you do take on some bad people once in a while.
There you go.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, like, that's nice.
That's my operative phrase. My operative ideology these days is I think of what is Mike going to be proud of.
I do that every day.
It's what keeps us all going, really. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just when you stand out in those public squares with that gun over your head.
Yes. Well,
you don't care for that.
That's when I get a little hinky on that one. We're running out of time in this segment, but I do want to say Jimmy Fallon. Apparently, major controversy at NBC where Jimmy Fallon is going to be named the successor to Jay Leno.
Right.
And here's the thing about
minutes.
it: the NBC has categorically denied that they are moving Fallon into the Tonight Show.
That makes it true,
and that's why. Exactly. But here's the thing that they always do, and they're building him a brand new studio.
Of course.
Right. Corporate America in media is so transparent. They're terrible. We'll talk about Jimmy Fallon. We'll talk about Harry Reams. And we'll talk about more fun and more thrills, including our exclusive Israel representative when we come back on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show. We are delighted to have you with us, and this segment of the program is brought to you by Vistaprint.com. If you're starting a new business, we tell you about it all the time. Go to Vistaprint.com and get some fantastic business cards. We got to get that address out for where people can send them. People are confused.
All right.
Boys, I've asked 3 times. Get it out there. Let people know. Give them right now. Where's an address they can send? Doesn't have to be your place. Can they send it? Do we have a P.O. box? Do we need to have a P.O. box?
We do.
This little game about sending crap to Rob's house is over. Thank you very much. We are now going to have a post office box.
I know the game is over, but
I've asked
too many details revealed.
I have asked for
too many.
I have asked for people to send business cards, and we always say, "Well, I can't really, but we'll get them." I want to get them. I want to get the business cards.
Please, if you want to send us a card, please email us at info@mikeomarashow.com.
That's all I was looking for. I just didn't want to go into the entire dance again. Were you holding up a business card, Andrew?
It's my Vistaprint business card.
Yeah.
Two-sided, too.
Two-sided,
We want to see yours. You can get 250 of them for $10, and they're the good ones, too, with heavy paper stock. TMOS, that's that wonderful code, gets you the free shipping. Check them out at Vistaprint.com. I really look forward to it because I know that our insane listeners are clamoring to do this, and they also have, they're not all like standard business cards.
No.
I'm looking forward to getting the funny ones. Send us your
them.
business card. We're not doing a contest. We just want the funny from you.
That's
if you send along a business card, we would appreciate it. And get your cards at Vistaprint.com.
Yeah.
Getting back to Jimmy Fallon with NBC. I wrote this down this morning. I said, Jimmy Fallon is the luckiest man in showbiz.
Never has so much been achieved on so little talent.
Unbelievable.
See, I disagree.
And you
wow,
know what?
has this ever happened?
Well,
I've always said I was a fan. I didn't just change my mind now.
I'm going to put the BS meter on you now because you have never met a youthful media story that you did not want to attach to. You can, if you are sincerely a fan of Jimmy Fallon, I will accept that.
Yes.
But I also think that Jimmy Fallon
You have to say why.
is kind of the roots, kind of trendy, kind of young, and that's where a lot of his marketability comes through. If you can tell me why you think I don't think he's all that
I saw
great.
Jimmy Fallon in concert, the 930 Club. It might have been 2001 before he was doing some warm-up acts before he went and hosted the VMAs.
Right.
And at that point, that was my wheelhouse. I worked for a rock station. So I'd heard of Jimmy Fallon. I'd seen him on TV. But in my world, a Saturday Night Live isn't as important, isn't as big as it is in most people's worlds because growing up, I just didn't have that embedded in my life.
Okay.
I would hear about it from other people, but my parents were watching Univision and Telemundo. But I know...
Sábado Gigante is more important.
Sábado Gigante was on. And then,
Sábado Gigante!
And that means Giant Saturday.
Yeah, and Noticiero...
Spanish for Saturday Night Live.
And Noticiero de Univision would come on at 11. That's all I would get with my parents.
Right.
But as I grew up, I realized that, Jimmy Fallon as a talent and as hard as he works and what he does to... Now, I would agree that he's kind of one or two dimensional.
Let me stop you right there.
Yeah.
Right away, when you say as hard as he works.
Yes.
It's not how I measure a comedian. I don't care. You
He entertains
in the business, you can respect a guy for that. But when I'm just taking it as a guy sitting in front of the TV.
Talent
as far
value.
As, I can look at it. I never process how hard Letterman works or how hard Leno works. And as a matter of fact, when they used to talk about the hours that Leno kept, I rolled my eyes and said, "Okay, yeah, you start writing your jokes in your kitchen with your staff, and look what we got." I don't mind respecting a guy if you like his talent, but as hard as he works and stuff like that.
Well, I guess, I respect that.
That's not just how I'm going to measure the... I'm looking at him just as the
Take
performer.
that away as a talent. I think that when I catch Jay Leno, because when Conan first went to late night, I enjoyed that. Most of America clearly didn't because they let him go.
Yeah.
So, but I like Conan.
I liked Conan. I loved his writing.
I'll take Conan over Jimmy Fallon any day.
Will you take Jimmy Fallon over Jimmy Kimmel?
No. I think Jimmy Kimmel's number one.
You're right.
Yeah.
We all agree on
that.
that.
But from what they have to choose from, when I watch Leno, even when Jim Norton is on, and I enjoy watching Jim Norton, even when he's on,
big fan of the Dynamite show.
Leno,
Jim Norton. Thanks for referencing that.
Look, I'm giving you my example.
I know. I'm just saying that you just open up a wide wound.
Leno, I think is.
You know that Jimmy Norton was Opie and Anthony's attack
dog
for Dynamite.
I'm giving you my play-by-play. So,
bastard.
Maybe they should give him the Tonight Show.
Jimmy Norton? Yeah, and then the Tonight Show is brought to you by Whores with VD.
When I watch Jay Leno, I feel like he's a hack.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
That's it.
We agree with that.
So the only other option is either You try to do something with Conan in My Heart, which that ship has sailed.
Right.
Or you put Jimmy Fallon on, which is a better option.
And I think that's settling, and that's why I mentioned that I think he's the luckiest guy in show business. And I really think this speaks to a larger issue. And part of this came out on the Actors Studio with Tina Fey when she was talking about Lorne and Lorne and Lorne and Lorne. And when you really look at NBC, it really should all be NBC Lorne Michaels.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you get a guy that Lorne likes, and Lorne likes a certain type. I think that is so incredibly obvious. I mean, over the years, I think you've seen the Bill Murrays and Dan Aykroyds sort of go to the side.
Pushed away, yeah.
And the new guys coming up are not like Bill Murray, who was not pretty on any level, was not that attractive, but hysterically funny. Aykroyd the same way, not a classic. And you've seen him, replaced by the Jimmy Fallons and the Seth Meyers. Although Seth's talented, he's not on a lot of sketches. But you've seen these kind of just
what about
bland, sort of attractive
thin, white,
men,
metrosexual men.
What about Will Ferrell?
Will Ferrell is
not funny.
Probably, yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, not all that funny.
How do we work so well together when? And you know, I love Will Ferrell.
Yeah.
Like I don't. You know what? I'm out. I'm tapping out. You guys,
I have to give you, Mike, a quote from an NBC executive who said that Jimmy Fallon is the closest thing we've found in the new generation to Johnny Carson.
That's fair.
I knew you would have that reaction. That's why I wanted to tell you.
What's the
I just think the guys. What Oscar said it though.
Yeah.
In his defense of Jimmy Fallon, you explain what it is. What else do we have to choose from? And we don't.
At NBC,
Yeah, they
nothing.
put a lot of eggs in the basket when they gave him Letterman's old time slot, because that was traditionally the grooming time slot to move up, and then it didn't happen.
It's just.
But that's what they've got. How about Lester Holt?
Saturday
Yeah.
Saturday Night Live is such a franchise, and it's been around for so long. But I think that's part of its problem, is that it just has been around for so long. And I think every television show, I really do believe it's the one medium where, and it's not like movie stars or radio shows. I think radio shows, thank God, can last for a long time because the nature of what they are. Yeah. I think television shows should be finite, because of the very nature of how they are.
That's what the BBC does.
Yeah, they should tweak them a little bit.
How much money do you think it takes to put on one of those shows?
What, as far as a
Like a
live
late-night
like
show,
Jimmy Fallon? I have no earthly idea.
It's one of the cheapest shows
It
for them
is.
to generate.
So if it's that cheap, you think they would have, like, let's say the farm system now went from Leno to Conan at one point when he was on NBC, to Fallon, and then to Carson Daly with his like late night show. So you have
another. It's these same metrosexual guys that are just like
they bring nothing.
Good
yeah,
looking,
they're just
thin,
blah.
white.
So now,
and they're not educated
now
either.
NBC is stuck with three, and your last here is Carson Daly, who I don't know. I was a fan of
I
his.
take that back about educating, because I have no idea what Jimmy Fallon's education is.
Oh, he went to Dean University.
Dean College.
Dean College. Forgive me.
But there's no where's the farm team? If the farm team is Saturday Night Live in one way or another,
right?
I mean, that farm team isn't that great.
Well, and the other reason is
it's
that
frustrating.
They blew it because they let Conan get away because of the whole Leno debacle. Conan should be really still coming into his own. What was that, 3 years ago?
Yeah, but he's on TBS.
I know
or
they
wherever
lost
he
him,
is.
but in the long range
welcome
plan,
to oblivion.
He should have been on for 15 years, which would have given them 15 years.
They didn't give him time.
They didn't.
Well,
they did
that's
not
what I'm
give
saying.
him
What's
time.
the over/under on how long Jimmy Fallon is in the Tonight Show spot before Jay Leno decides he wants to come back?
I don't think Leno can come back again.
Leno's taking all.
Done.
Leno's burning. You know, that's so
done.
funny. Jay, the one that's like, I don't really care about everything. You know, every night now. Apparently, I don't watch the show.
He's
I read
bad-mouthing.
about it that he's just trashing NBC every night now.
Now, did you didn't bring up
I love that.
one of the rumors I heard on the NBC News last night, which is funny that NBC News is reporting that NBC is denying
I saw this.
the rumors.
Right.
But do you know that they plan to bring the Tonight Show back to New York?
Yeah. Well, they're building Jimmy Fallon's brand new studio.
Which means we might get to hear this again, Mike.
No, we're not going to hear that again. No, that was just.
From New York, The Tonight Show. Starring
But do you think that's stupid? Because now they're the reason that Carson moved it to L.A.
And the reason that Jay Leno was successful.
is the better talent pool.
Absolutely.
And now
Hollywood
not only are they not going to have access to Hollywood stars, they're going to be splitting them.
I think you're
splitting them with Letterman.
I think it's a conscious decision. I think that it's
I
different.
bet Lauren likes it.
The world is different than it was when the Tonight Show moved out to Los Angeles because proximity doesn't matter that much. These celebrities are
I suppose.
shooting their movies and doing their different
But still-
TV shows all over the world now. They really are.
Still, they've got to keep their eye on Letterman, and they're going to be splitting time with Letterman.
When does Letterman retire?
I was thinking about. I think about that every time I watch Letterman. I think about that because I think it's time.
I think he was thinking about it a lot this week.
About 5 minutes after Leno does, I think.
Yeah, maybe he will.
He had a disastrous episode this week where they were trying to do a phoner to the Vatican.
Right.
And it totally failed the first time through. And they went so far as to come back with the band again to reset it, but they left the first failure in the show. And I mean, it was, and they did it 3 times, and he wouldn't, of course, he dwelled on it the whole show, and he kept saying, well, maybe we better call the Vatican again, because it was over his head the whole show.
Yeah.
It was backbreakingly awkward. It was really bad. Wow. And I think he gets a few more weeks like that. Burned, he's going to get out of there, but he's making so much money.
Well, the thing about Letterman is it's a totally different style than Leno. It's been around for a while. Mm-hmm. And, I'm all for new talent coming up, but as far as Jimmy Fallon, I think what it is, don't make any mistake about it. There's jealousy here, too. Mm-hmm. When you look at a guy like that. But he reminds me of certain guys in radio. Tommy McFly.
Oh, yeah.
Who just, they fall forward.
You're giving him too much credit.
I know, Tommy McFly?
Come on.
No, but Tommy McFly is.
I don't know him.
He's not, no, Tommy McFly doesn't have ratings where I'm using an example of a guy that, Jimmy Fallon, when I watch Jimmy Fallon, I feel like Jimmy Fallon does a great show for himself. He is really happy.
That's well said.
He is really happy with every show he does, and I just wish that he didn't think he was so goddamn cute.
And
that's what I've always hated about Jimmy Fallon. It's like, I'm really excited.
Do you get the impression? You get the impression that it's like showing up to a great dinner party and not bringing anything.
Yeah,
that's what he does every night.
And
so
back in the day,
I'm not part of the party.
I'm not. Jimmy Kimmel has the edge.
There's the goods, right?
Jimmy Kimmel is the only guy working right now that's going to be around for a while. That has that.
NBC should have stole him.
But Jimmy's got the edge. Jimmy Kimmel's got that edge with also a warmth that that Carson didn't even have.
Affability. He's so affable.
That's right.
What about Ryan Seacrest?
Oh God,
too sterile.
A wonderful host, but not a guy that
too controlled,
but not a comedian.
But mark my words that he will pick up one of those shows.
Yes, probably. Because the talent pool is
I'm not talking about the Tonight Show. I'm talking about the
Carson show.
I'm talking about the Late Night Show, the Carson Daly Show. Will do something like that.
I don't think he will, and I'll tell you why. Because Dick Clark never went that route.
Right, it's not his style.
He might host a Fallops, Bleeps, and Blunders. Yeah. He might do like Bandstand, but it's
not
in his bag.
But you saw him at the Olympics. What was he doing at the Olympics?
Let me throw a name
just getting their value.
A man who's right for the time, and a man who's a little older, but a guy who's right for the times, and I think would be perfect because he's got the edge, and I think he's got an amazing likability factor. Louis C.K. I think that is a guy.
Oh, for late night.
I think you could put him in there. I think he's bright enough to do it on the fly. I like the fact that he's kind of
but he's smart,
and that's what we want now.
However, does he have any sort of affability when he's one-on-one with someone? That remains to be seen.
I've seen him interviewed. Yeah, I kind of like the guy when he's out there.
Different on the other side, though.
He's somebody though. I think to make those shows engaging, you have to pluck somebody from the comedy world and not necessarily from the announcer world. Ryan Seacrest is a great host,
an MC,
and a great MC, but I don't know if he's got the stand-up comedy stuff where that would
Gilbert Godfrey.
Gilbert Godfrey.
I'd watch.
Should be fun to see play out, though.
Gilbert Godfrey. I think he's as old as James Lipton. So
82-year-old Gilbert Godfrey.
The last word on this as far as Jimmy Fallon, NBC categorically denying that they are giving Jimmy Fallon the Tonight Show. So that means count on it.
Bet on it.
It is etched in stone.
Now, I hadn't heard that they're building him a studio. Do you know where they're going to build the studio?
Where New York, in 30 Rock.
30 Rock.
Are they really?
Yeah, just elsewhere in the building.
God, it must be nice. It really must be nice.
Well, I mean, that's what they do. They build studios. They say, hey, here's what we're going to give you. We're going to give the roots are going to be over here, and then they come out on the press and they say, no, we're not doing it. We're not giving him the Tonight Show. Of course, you're not going to be investing the money in building. You're not going to be investing that money because you've got the Late Show. You're going to be investing the money because you're putting the guy.
If media is your spectator sport, then your team has got to be NBC because they've been screwing up since Carson left. They've screwed up with Letterman.
That's
they've
1992.
Screwed up ever since.
Radio is
and their parent company is screwing up my podcast.
Yes, true.
Radio is just like
Cable
TV.
town.
It's exactly like
Think
TV.
about
corporate radio.
I remember as a baby DJ and a T-shirt slinger and promotions trying to break into the business.
That'd be a great Vistaprint card for you.
Yeah,
Oscar Santana,
T-shirt slinger.
T-shirt slinger.
And I remember sitting there, and they would build a new studio for a new morning show.
Right.
They would build a new studio for a new afternoon show.
Right.
They would build a new studio. It would always be something new.
Yep.
And I'd sit there and I was like, I just saw probably 6 or 7 shows do one show out of the same studio. Why does the other group need a brand new studio?
Because corporate entities like to the cost. This is my theory on this. I'm not sure whether I'm 100% right, but my theory is these corporate entities will build a brand new studio because that is cheaper than paying more or promoting more. And it's like giving you a title. Yeah. It's like giving you a title. You're going to be the executive assistant to the program director. Are we going to get a raise? Yeah. No, but that's a great title to put on your resume.
Yeah.
That's the same thing. Okay, so what's the promotional budget for the show? Are you going to give us a TV campaign? Are you going to give us a busboard campaign? No, we're not, but we're going to give you a new studio.
Yeah. There is a great story that Will Wheaton tells about being on Star Trek The Next Generation and going into a contract negotiation. And he wanted more money. They said, no. We're going to promote you from ensign to lieutenant. And he says, on the show? Yes.
On the show. Because he was young enough where that's what they do.
Says, Starfleet isn't a real organization.
Right.
It really doesn't matter.
It's not, and it's not confined to media. They're all companies do this where they will say they give you title.
Right.
They give there's that TV show that I'm slowly warming to. I think the season finale was this week. Girls. I've actually recommitted to that show a little bit.
Hannah is a mess. Are you kidding me?
And that's when I fell in love with her. As soon as I realized,
nice dresser though.
As soon, though, please, this is just my request.
Shirt on.
Please don't go sleeveless. Please, I get tired of looking at that abomination of a tattoo.
I think what she needs to do, if girls could triple their viewership if they had her in a hoodie every week. and for God's sake, keep it zipped up.
I know we're skipping all over the place, but one of the boyfriends on one of the characters, they are talking about giving him a title.
Right.
And, I need my title to be better. He's giving him basically the same job, but he's giving him a fancier title to manage the pizza store.
Yeah.
He still loses the girl in the end. But,
that's right.
And also, the other thought about that show, Girls, watching that, is it Brian Williams' daughter that's on that show?
Yes.
And Dad watches every show with her?
Does that not? That's something I can't. Yeah, the whole family watches together.
He watches every show. Sometimes they watch together.
Well, let me say
the last. Get that out of my head.
The last episode. Let me just say this.
Oh, the role playing one.
No. This was I think more recent than that. This is where the young lady who is now finally hooked up with her long lost love. They've been on and off for a couple of years, and he is, shall I say this delicately, engaging in an activity that is making her smile.
Yes.
And she is commenting on how skilled he is at that activity.
I haven't seen this one.
And she is saying, where did you learn to do that? Have you been dating a lot of girls since we've been apart? And it's right there. And I suddenly, every time I see this young lady, because she resembles her father a little bit, I picture
got the Williams jaw.
I picture Brian Williams going, that was a great. That was a great job, honey. What a great performance when he was. I put myself in that position.
Right.
Brian Williams he's ahead of the game as a dad. Really, hats off to him
before he's given up.
That show can be very, very graphic.
Mood leveling drugs. Mood leveling drugs.
When he did that, and then they get together at the end. But the show is a little more vulnerable, and I'm okay with it. I think Girls is a pretty good show. I think that they almost make an effort to hire people that are unusual looking and not classic movie star.
I would agree with you.
And that's what makes Brian Williams' daughter jump off the screen a little bit, especially when she was getting that activity.
Sure.
She sure enjoyed herself. There wasn't any doubt about that.
Well, it's what's not to like.
Listen, when we come back, it's Rob's Magic Audio Vault, and we never got to our special correspondent from Israel. Can we just talk to him for a second?
Absolutely.
All right. See if is the satellite up and running?
I believe it is.
All
yes.
right. We'll try to do that. We'll come back right after this on the Mike O'Mara Show. Welcome back to the Mike O'Mara Show, everybody. We talk about our wonderful relationships that we have with our clients, and I want to thank our listeners for supporting RC Kitchens. If I can talk about RC Kitchens and small businesses all over America. We are a small business, and a long time ago, in a land far away, the home remodeling industry was under siege by the big box stores and by big corporate America.
Right.
We talk about the big evil corporations. I'm here to tell you, one of the things I share with this wonderful guy over at RC Kitchens is that, he's a small business. He's trying to get it done, and he's trying to take care of his employees. I try to do the same thing here, and I think it's important, really. Not that you all judge me on how funny the show is. You judge him on how good his kitchens are. Right. We know they're terrific. They do a great job. You can see it online. You can see the examples of the work he does. But really, we have to be mindful in this day and age, in this economy, of other small businesses that are out there trying to get her done. Right.
Yeah.
And if you get a guy that's really good, he's supporting me, and I want you to support him. It's RC Kitchens, and they're terrific. And Rory does a great job. Rory Callahan at RC Kitchens. They give you tremendous service. They give you estimates that are honest, with time and money.
Right.
So they will not have you hanging for 2 months because they said the date that was incorrect at the beginning. Estimates from RC Kitchens are guaranteed, and they serve the D.C. area all the way down to the beaches of Delmarva. If you are outside the D.C. area, RC Kitchen still might be able to help you. So contact our good friend Rory Callahan, a small business owner who is supporting a small business
Love
owner.
It. Shop small,
and
shop local.
You know what, man? I was thinking about this morning, that we take care of our own in this country, supporting small businesses. If you've even had a thought about remodeling your kitchen, give this guy a call, Rory Callahan at rckitchens.com.
Well, he considers himself an artist, and the people who work for him, he considers them artists, and they care about quality as
You've
much as
had a
anything
personal
else.
experience with him, right?
I plan to. We've talked, and
Okay.
but he's all about the quality. He's all about the artistic nature of the work.
Good. It's rckitchens.com. Check them out. Support them the way they've supported us. Let's get right to the audio vault. Do we have the
Is the
satellite
Skype
feed?
up?
Yeah, it is. It's up. I got it.
Hold on just a second.
Now we have an
Almost
exclusive
a first in itself.
We have an exclusive interview with a contact or someone who's covering all the Netanyahu and Barack
Our
Obama.
correspondent?
Yeah,
I
correspondent.
think it's working.
Yes. Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
I'm in the bathroom.
Oh, is it Jackie Mason?
I'm in the bathroom.
Why did we send Jackie Mason?
I'm covering the president in Israel.
Were you going there anyway?
I was going to go there for several times a year.
How come?
I go over there several times a year. The president comes over. I thought it's a big deal. We're going to have a good time. I had a fantastic time. He's meeting with Netanyahu. Talking about the
Now, are you as Jackie Mason or are you the blue aardvark right now?
I gotta get that meatball. Just wanted to say everything's going fantastically. All right. How you doing? Hey, Oscar.
Yes.
How about that Jimmy Fallon? What a schputz.
I've got a question.
Yes, go ahead, Oscar.
So the president spends 5 hours in the Gaza Strip. Is that enough?
Hold on just a second.
Oh, Jackie.
Whoa, take a look at that.
No.
Hey, somebody sunk my battleship.
That ain't a
What
macaroon.
was your question?
What are your thoughts on the president's visit?
Well, I'm not making a big deal about it. He comes over on Air Force One, his limo breaks down, and they send another limo in from Jordan. Then he meets with Netanyahu, and he tells the Israelis that he's all for Israel. He's not for Israel, but we think he's for the Palestinians, and it's a big thing. And it's a big confusing thing. We're always crazy about that. It always works out that way. But I'm really glad that he's in Israel, and that's great. And then that Chuck Todd gets up to them, NBC, and he makes
Oh, and
Do you have time for one more question?
One more question, and I know you got to go to the audio vault.
How are
What's
you?
on the audio vault today?
I will actually have Chuck Todd getting his balls
That's
busted.
good. Chuck Todd should get his balls busted. He's a
My question before we let you go, I think we're about to lose the satellite.
Yes, sir.
How's your moomie?
Let me take a look.
Oh no!
Hold on just a second. Oh, wow. Hey, look at that. It's poking out of the water.
No, stop it. Thank you, Jackie Mason. Checking in. Did you open the thing?
Let me
Open
do
the
it.
thing.
Thank you.
Oh, you know what it is, Mike?
What?
Tonight at 9:45 p.m., tip-off, 5th seeded VCU takes on number 12, Akron.
Who's their leading scorer, Rob?
I have a favorite player.
You do?
He's excellent. I'll keep your eye on number 33, center DJ Haley.
There you go. You're bringing it.
Haley.
You brought it.
Player of the day,
That makes me
VCU.
happy.
Not only, Mike, he is the first 7-footer on VCU's team in 10 years.
You did your homework. I'm
He
proud
also
of you,
plays
son.
saxophone and piano. He's
No.
a favorite.
Stop.
This might be my happiest moment of the show.
He is an absolute he's an absolute crowd favorite, and everyone is going to love when DJ Haley hits the boards. VCU, go Rams, go! So that'll be tonight at 9:45, and I'll be watching it. So go Rams.
I
Okay.
can't hate Ron when he goes through all that trouble.
Yes, I mean, doesn't it make you
I
feel
can't
good?
hate him, yeah.
Makes you feel good, like
Yes,
makes
you
me.
can.
I can't
No,
hate
it's
him.
because he cared. I loved
That's
it.
right.
He brought me so much joy with that.
Who cares?
Go Rams!
You go Rams.
Are you having trouble keeping track of all the teams in the bracket?
I
There's
haven't.
68 teams.
I haven't given it a lot of thought.
Commit this song to memory. and it'll make it easier.
Oh, good.
We keep track of them.
All of them?
Golden Gophers, Golden Eagles, Blue Devils, Blue Raiders, Running Rebels, 2 Gales, Tar Heels, Crusaders, Owls, Cardinals, Blue Jays, Eagles, Ducks, and Blackbirds, Bearcats, Jaguars, 3 Tigers and Panthers, 2 Bulldogs, Wolfpack, Lobos, 4 Wildcats, Bison, Buffaloes, Grizzlies, 2 Bruins and Bears. Take a deep breath, we're only halfway there.
More.
Cowboys, Aztecs, Spartans, 2 Aggie Shockers, Fighting Irish, Hoosiers, Sooners, Dukes, and Hilltoppers, Crimson, Orange, Hoyas, Gators, Badgers, Flames, Hurricanes, Cyclones, Broncos, Explorers, Zips, and Great Danes, a couple of Rams, Jayhawks, Demons, Wolverines, Jackrabbits, Billikens, Buckeyes, Illini, Rebels, that's it. Write them down, fill out your brackets. It's March Madness.
So if you memorize that song, you'll be in Fat City.
It'd be better as a rag.
Well, it might be better in ragtime. Now, you know who Obama picked to go all the way?
Who's that?
Indiana.
I'm going Louisville. I know it's not a surprise pick, and I'm going with Indiana. These are the 2 best teams right now, and for the championship, I'm going back to the Big Ten. I think this is Indiana's year.
How cool would it be if Indiana really won after that?
I'd love it.
Fixed.
It'd be very cool. Now, but the other good thing that he did yesterday is you and I share a love of Lester Holt.
Yes.
And we share a hatred of Chuck Todd.
Amen.
I'm sorry, Mike. Chuck Todd, who's out there covering the White House. But,
Smarmy,
but now he's
sneaky little
overseas.
bastard.
He's overseas covering the president and Netanyahu.
Right.
And they were allowed one question at the press conference. And Chuck Todd asked 4. And what I love is that the president called him on it, and Benjamin Netanyahu got a great laugh.
Right. Another question I had for you is, why do you
Chuck, how many you got? Do you guys do this in the Israeli press? You say you get one question, and then you add
I'm
5.
helping him. I'm helping him with his
You see how the young lady from Channel 1, she had one question? She was very well behaved, Chuck.
This is not a kosher question, but don't hog it.
Chuck, I mean, you're just incorrigible.
I told you before the show, Mike, I was going to give you a grammar lesson.
That's right.
This is a great list of all places. This comes from Reader's Digest, and you still take Reader's Digest, don't you?
It shows up at the door.
I love this because it combines 2 things I love: grammar and rock and roll music. These are some of the least grammatically correct songs of all time.
Grammar rock.
Yeah, at number 6 is U2.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
You're not supposed to end a sentence with a preposition, so the name of the song should be "I still haven't found for which I am looking."
That's right. He's right.
I wouldn't pick up haven't found what I'm looking for is bad grammar.
All right, at number 5.
Good usage.
Number 5.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, it really should be, I can't get any satisfaction. Right. Obviously, using the word no instead of any is slang, and it makes it a double negative. So, in fact, Mick Jagger's saying he's getting satisfaction.
Or you could say, I can get no satisfaction.
You can do that. We'll see
I
how
can
the
get no
music goes.
satisfaction.
Okay, you guys, all right, don't overanalyze.
At
You're
number
making my brain
4.
hurt.
something strange in your neighborhood?
Ray Parker Jr., how are you?
Who you gonna call?
Because it is an object, technically it should be, to whom are you going to call? But again, it doesn't really roll off the tongue. And if you want to clean up more of the lyrics, it should say, if it's something weird and it doesn't look good, whom are you going to call? Ghostbusters. I'm not afraid of any ghost. Okay, I forget where we are here. And the next one, it belongs to, Lover, Tina Turner. The lyric should actually be, what's love have to do with it? Because the word got isn't a synonym for the word have, though everyone uses it like it is. So you could say, I have to do something or I've got to do something.
Right.
But the second one, you're still using the word
Well,
have.
one of the biggest ones ever, isn't it? The ad campaign, got milk?
Yeah, that's wrong.
It should be have milk?
Exactly.
Do you have milk?
And you know what? Do you know that Ford changed their, 2 years ago, it was go farther? And they changed it to go further because people were cutting out the ads so it said go fart. Oh, wow. So they had to change it.
But farther is the correct usage, and they've changed it now to the incorrect word, which is further.
But now they're not making gas jokes. Our last one, Mike.
Would it be, so the great blues song that I used to play with my band, Further On Down the Road, would it be correct to say farther on down the road?
More correct, because if farther is for distance.
Wow.
Yeah. Further is to advance your career. For example, you want to further your career, the house is farther down the road.
So you drive farther to get here, but you have not furthered your career.
If you go farther, you will further your career.
There you go. Very good. And I lost the numbering here, but our final one is indeed the Black Eyed Peas.
I got a feeling.
Should technically be, I have a feeling. And the middle word is spelled gotta, which is slang for have to. So technically the title translate is, I have to feeling. So grammar is fun. We have a wonderful language. Please learn how to use it. And we close. You know what? With all this stuff going on, we've lost focus of the fact that yes, we've installed a new pope, and more facts keep coming out about the pope.
He'll be visiting periodically on the show.
What's new?
God, I hope so. Well, Letterman revealed something last night I had no idea about.
We know a few things about the pope, and we'll learn more as the weeks and months go by. He was a nightclub bouncer. That's phenomenal.
It's true.
This, I believe, and I looked it up. I'm not a theologian, but I looked this up, and I believe he's the only pope in the history of the Catholic Church who in his lifetime has ever said, as he was a nightclub bouncer.
Yes.
And I believe in his lifetime, the only pope who ever said, "You've had enough, Miss Lowen."
That, Mike, that is your magic audio ball.
That's good stuff. We'll take a break, come back with Buzz and News. This is the Mike O'Mara Show. I don't know why I'm singing so much today. Welcome back to the show. It's time to get our newsman in here. Take it away, Buzz Burbank.
Thank you, Mike. We're brought to you today by the Mike O'Mara Show animated series. Download the Strine Studios cartoons for just $2.99 each, or subscribe to the whole series for just $15. Don't miss the latest about Mike's dog, Frankie. Hilarious. Season 3, Episode 4, as we like to call it, available now. The Mike O'Mara Show animated series available only at MikeO'MaraShow.com.
There is a style to Gabe Strine that I do not get bored with.
Brilliant.
Maybe it's that. Maybe it's because it's always about us.
It is.
But
you know
that's
what?
a lot of it.
I don't think Warner Brothers Studios in their golden age could animate something with this show and make it look right.
And
somehow when
it's
Gabe
real.
does it, it looks right.
He has a way of marrying our humor with his humor, and the end result is just always amazing.
Check it out. It's great stuff.
It's a bit of a risk to talk on a handheld cell phone while you're driving. It's downright crazy to text and drive.
Mark Ronick.
I don't.
But there's...
Don't hurt me.
Come on.
You guys. But there's one other distraction that's worse than all the others. Having kids in the car.
Amen.
A new study says having...
you love this story.
A new study says having kids in the car is 12 times more distracting than talking on the phone.
This is very true. You know, a cell phone has never thrown a car seat at my wife.
That's true.
And Robert did on the Dulles Toll Road.
Very strong.
70 miles an hour, threw a car seat at her.
What a good
I rest
kid.
my case.
That was last week. No, I'm kidding.
No, that was you last week. Researchers in Australia confirmed this by putting cameras in cars with kids. The cameras caught the driver looking away from the road for nearly 3.5 minutes out of a 16-minute ride. That's more than 1/5 of the drive, during which the driver wasn't watching where they were going. Among children, babies were the most severe distractions.
Oh, I hate babies.
The average baby is 8 times more distracting than an adult passenger in the car.
I swear to God, I don't want you to... Help! Help, my father. I have a great memory of my dad, though, because we'd always be bad in the car.
Yeah.
Kids are bad in the
make
car.
me turn
Mike,
this around.
you're misbehaving.
And he would do the fact where he'd lean over the back seat.
Oh, and swing?
Yeah, just like, you kids. We're going to go like that, and he'd be reaching for us, and we're like ducking in the back seat.
And because there were no seatbelts, you could duck and dodge it.
Chad Ram would be throwing hammers at you.
Chad Ram.
Hey, do you think that study holds water? Because don't you think the people would also be distracted by the fact there's a camera in their car?
That's funny.
Babies, of course, are one of the byproducts of sex, and there's also a smattering of sex news today, if you'll pardon my use of the word smattering.
I will.
Some doctors in New York are starting to give women collagen injections in their G-spots. By enlarging that pleasure point, 85% of women having the procedure report increased pleasure. The procedure is not recommended for women who don't experience pleasure there in the first place, or those who conversely find sex painful.
I smell a rat with this. I bet
That
it's
ain't a rat.
lie. No, I bet it's a lie. Physiologically, I bet it's a lie.
Well, there's one problem, is they have a hard time finding where to give the injection.
By making it larger... By making it larger, they make it more sensitive because it's a little bit stretched, and
they're saying
also easier to hit.
I don't believe it.
Only for women who feel it. The procedure is really only for women who already feel that they have a G-spot and want to feel it more.
Yeah. Why does this sound like an ad?
Yeah, it does. Also, the women with the enlarged G-spot very distracted when driving.
You can.
All those bumps.
In Austin, Texas, a urologist in Austin whose real name is Richard Chop.
Oh, no!
He's offering a March Madness special on vasectomies, which is his specialty. Doc says if you're going to be on the couch watching games anyway, you might as well be recovering from his 20-minute procedure.
Yeah, but it hurts, right, Rob?
It does hurt. Mm-hmm. It hurts not only physically, but mentally.
Still.
That's funny.
And porn pioneer Harry Reams has died at the age of 65 from pancreatic cancer. He was best known for his role in the 1972 classic Deep Throat, a film that set off a huge censorship debate across the country. Harry Reams, real name Herbert Stryker, only made $250 on that film.
Some of the first pornos I ever watched
Yes.
were with Harry Reams. He did a lot of stuff with a lady that's been on the program, Ginger Lynn.
He did a movie that I had, back when porn was so precious.
Yes.
Because you just would find one.
When
and limited. You didn't have as much as you do
He
today.
did a parody of One Day at a Time called One Night at a Time, in which he played the Schneider character. Safe home, Mr. Reams.
Yeah, I bet that tool belt would stay on.
And despite the fact that he fell into drug problems, he went on to be very successful in real estate, which is what he was doing when he passed.
That's pretty funny.
I spoke to
odd,
him
isn't
once to try and get him on the old show, and
Really?
he wouldn't do it.
Oh, really?
He said, I'm doing fine with real estate. I don't need to talk about
he
that.
didn't want to go back.
Very pleasant fella.
We're just days away from a point at which the government begins to shut down for lack of funding, but the Senate yesterday passed a bill that would kick that deadline down the road a bit and keep the government running. The bill includes 10 measures that would soften the blow of some of the budget cuts that went into effect 3 weeks ago as part of the sequestration. The House has until Friday to go along with the plan because the House leaves for another 2-week vacation on Friday.
Hey, don't believe the lies that the government's going to shut down and that if we're kicking the can down the road, it's going to be a total disaster. That's all crap that's created by the Republican establishment.
Langer's on the case.
That was just for
I'm
you.
sorry, Andrew, we're out of time. Up until now, the CIA has conducted the drone strikes that we have carried out overseas. The White House is now working to take that job out of the hands of the spy agency and give it to the military instead. The Air Force, of course, already has its own drones, but yesterday, one of them drifted about 800 miles off course.
That's like us going to Orlando on our way to Fort Myers.
Funny you should mention that. It happened. It happened in Florida, naturally. The drone that was supposed to have been in the Florida Panhandle wound up in Key Largo instead. Very close. Very close.
Very nearly.
That's the length of the state.
That's right.
Wow.
The $500,000 drone was rescued and returned in a truck.
Wow. That's pretty funny.
Wow.
Sean Moore of Carneys Point, New Jersey, says his constitutional rights were violated when he got a visit from the Division of Children and Family Services. The agency dropped in on Sean's home after word got out that he had given his 11-year-old son an assault rifle for the boy's birthday.
11 years old.
Right.
Okay, terrific.
In Minnesota,
They're your people, Langer.
Yeah, he was an NRA instructor, by the way.
A 12-year-old. Well, you can't doubt the judgment of an 11 or 12-year-old. In Minnesota, a 12-year-old's been arrested for filing a fake report about a shooter at his middle school. His report prompted the entire school district to lock down for 2 hours.
Wow.
See, what he was hoping is to be sent home.
Yeah, because
so it
he had
bit him in the ass.
Yeah, like he had a test or something.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, can't
what
blame
a
the kid for
jerk.
that.
Yeah. You ever try that one?
No.
Lockdown?
No.
Lock down the school because I'm not really good on my periodic table.
Do you know what I remembered when I was coming up in school?
Pulling
we would have the firearm or the bomb scare.
Yeah.
We had those.
Yeah, that was before bombs weren't funny anymore. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, but before that, we'd always have bomb scare.
Bombs, drinking and driving, smoking with kids in the car. Those were all cool back then.
They were all fun.
When Mike was in school, all the bombs looked like bowling balls with fuses on them. They just looked like a Roadrunner bomb.
Oh, and if you're thinking about a security system for your home, the Eli Lilly Drug Company recommends that you use security from some other firm other than ADT. Lilly blames ADT for allowing the theft of millions of dollars in drugs from its warehouse in Connecticut.
Oh, really?
Good job, ADT.
Eli Lilly.
Meanwhile, Buzz is quite pleased.
And finally, a cop never knows, as we've heard recently, a cop never knows what might happen during a routine traffic stop. It could be deadly, or they could die laughing. In Kalamazoo, Michigan, a man who'd been stopped volunteered that he had a deer in the trunk, one that he had struck and killed. He said he was taking it home to turn it into food. But before the officers could see for themselves, the deer sprang to life, kicked open the trunk.
See this video?
Yes. Jumped out and ran away.
That was great.
And in Lawrence, Indiana, police found pot in the car of a young man pulled over for speeding. The man swore that the pot wasn't his, as he explained to the officers to prove his point. If I'd known that was in the car, I would have smoked it. I'm Buzz Burbank on the Mike O'Mara Show.
Thank you, Buzz.
You bet.
Our show today was brought to you by Encore Insurance Services. They bring you the show every weeknight right here on WTNT 102.9. Even if you already have life insurance, you might be paying too much. Encore may be able to help you. Check them out. Licensing and disclaimer info is at SmartTerm, 2 words, SmartTerm.com. Let them know that you appreciate them supporting this show, Encore Insurance Services. Andrew Langer, any big plans for your birthday?
Yeah, doing this show.
Congratulations.
Happy birthday.
Thank you. Good guy, Andrew Langer.
It's amazing. You do not look 83. We'll be back tomorrow. And on the bonus hour on tomorrow's bonus, you better stick around. We're talking about relationships, including a major reveal that I think will be very interesting for all of you. We'll see that.
If I may add, what could possibly go wrong?
Exactly. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Ciao, ciao.
Thank you.